Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? How's it going? Today is Monday. I know everybody's back on the grind. You're back to work. You got to start a beginning of a new week. Hopefully, this week goes smoothly. Hopefully, everything goes well for you. I want to give a big ups to all of my subscribers, those who just been on board, just new to the channel. Want to thank you for stopping by to holler at me, to holler at your girl. I go by the name of Lady Mocha. I am your diva in knowledge. The name of this channel is Mocha's Cafe de Paris Lounge, where we talk about real issues. We talk about real life problems, and just everyday issues that people go through on the regular. Nothing fancy about this channel here. Want to give a shout out to all of you. Met B, one of my regulars, one of my day ones. I appreciate you for always stopping by and hollering at me. Big ups to Proverbs 31, Kinky and what, South Carolina. Appreciate you for stopping by to dine out with me. What's up, Water Sniper? You have you been incarcerated? Have you been locked up or something? Because I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been at? I have not seen you in a while. On that note, I'm going to thank all of you, all of my ladies, all of my guys for rocking out here with your girl, Lady Mocha, here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. I have not seen you in a while. Oh, hell. Let me turn my phone down. Definitely wanted to go into today's recipe, today's topic. I definitely felt it was very imperative. That I spoke on this subject. And the reason why I decided to do this particular recipe today, and today's recipe is called um, Parents That Are Still Raising Grown Children. That is the discussion that I'm going to be discussing today, raising childish grown children and grandchildren. I thought it was very imperative that I did this message for the simple fact that there is far too many parents that are up in age, can't live their life, you know, um, just pretty much is still in bondage with their children. And we're not talking about little children, we're talking about grown children, children that are over 21 years old. They are still raising, still taking care of them, and still providing for them. And I know everybody knows this. Everybody knows somebody that's doing this. It may be your own mama that's still taking care of your brother. It may be your own daddy that's still taking care of your sister. Every family has that one relative that cannot get their stuff together. It's just the bottom line. It's going to always be that one relative, no matter how much you help them, no matter how much you support them. They're never going to get it together. They're going to constantly be in the same space no matter what. Oh, you've been working, Water Sniper. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I got you. I got you. I got you. No problem. It's good to see you, though. Um, yeah. So as I was stating, that is why I'm doing this recipe today. Again, we have too many parents out there that are still raising grown children, that are still taking care of them and still supporting them. And I thought it was very imperative that we discuss this. What made me decide to discuss this, I had a girlfriend who actually called me, and she told me that her brother is every bit of 33, 34 years old. This young man does not work. This young man has been in and out of the correctional system. He has one child that he barely supports. He really takes care of this child. And unfortunately, he was raised, of course, in a single parent household, and he's always practically, been a mama's boy. He never really could, he never really was raised and taught, to be a man, because it was his mother alone who raised him. He didn't have, a father figure in his life or any other type of real male to teach him how to become a man. So basically, his mother was the only parent he had to raise them. And being that, what I noticed with a lot of single mothers, and I'm not saying all single mothers are this way. If it does not apply, you do not have to reply. Okay. Not all single mothers fit this category. But what I notice is single mothers that are raising sons, they will allow their sons to get away with murder. They will allow their boys to get away with murders because it's that guilt of knowing that they don't have that father there. So what happens is the woman, the single mom, she tends to feel guilty because of that. She tends to feel guilty that she does not have a man or a male role model in her son's life. So what happens in a lot of cases is these women will allow their sons to get away with murder. They create their sons to become what I call a man child. These young men come up, they grow up to become full grown men and they still have childish ass tendencies. And it's not just single mothers who got boys, it's also single mothers who have daughters. They don't teach their daughters how to become women, how to become independent, how to become self sufficient. Basically, there's a lot of single moms that are hindering their children because out of guilt, they know the other parent, the father, is not there for whatever reason, whether she won't allow him to be there or he just plain chooses not to be there for whatever reason. So out of guilt, they allow these children of theirs to pretty much run over them. They allow their children to pretty much bulldoze them. And it's a lot of families in the Black community, unfortunately, that have this problem. Like I said, it's unfortunate that it's going to be 3 out of 5 households that have parents that are going to become grandparents before they make it to their 40s. And you'll be lucky if you don't become a grandparent before you're 30. Like I stated, it's unfortunate that in the Black community there are, and it's mostly the single parent homes. Those are the homes that are most that have the most potential to end up having grown children that are still living with them. And most likely those children that are grown that are still living with them, they're going to be the same adults that's going to produce a lot of children and bring a lot of children into this world that they can't afford to take care of. They don't have the financial means, they don't have the emotional means, they are nowhere fit to be parents. So the risk is even higher. Sorry about that. I think I hit the mute button. It's unfortunate that there's going to be a lot of households in which single parents are going to still be stuck raising their children. You have parents that are going to be 60, 70, almost 80 years old and still have their parent and still taking care of their children. Not only are a lot of these households still taking care of children, but on top of that, they're taking care of their grandchildren. So it's bad enough that a lot of these women or these single households are, and it's not always just single households. You do have some households where there is two parents there and the mother and the father are still taking care of grown children that are over the age of 21. But it's more single parent households that have this problem than there is households with two parents. Because 9 times out of 10, when there's two parents in the household, that father is not going to allow that son, especially if he's a boy, he's not going to allow that son to continue to keep living off of him and his wife. It's not too many cases in which a man is going to allow his children to keep burdening his household. But I know a lot of grown women who will allow their grown children to live off of them, to take advantage of them, and they will not force these children to move out their house. When you have somebody that's 21 and up, and they have children and they got more than one child, it is time for them to have their own place. It is time for them to get their own place. It is time for you to teach them how to be independent. They need to get out your house. There's no way you should have grown child staying with you over 21 and they got one or more children and still living off of you. It's not a good look because what's happening is you're creating a monster. Um, Again, as I stated, the reason why I'm going into this topic because I had a girlfriend who called me and she told me that her brother um is well, he's 33, 34, and basically he's a scrub, he's a bum, he won't work. um he has one child he doesn't take care of, and what has happened was his mother, which is also her mother, his mother is allowing him to live off of her parents. And I'm like, wow, why you don't feel guilty? Why you don't feel bad that you have a son that's 33 and 34 years old, and you got that son living off of your parents. Her parents are every bit of almost 90 years old. You have this 90-year-old couple that's at an age in their life where they should be enjoying their life. When you 90 years old, really, when you over the age of 60, really, technically, if you're over the age of 60, you should be enjoying your life. You shouldn't have a household full of children that you still got to take care of and still have to support. You shouldn't be in that position. If you're over 50 years old and you got a household full of grandchildren and grown children, I really feel sorry for you, because that's truly sad that you cannot enjoy your life. You cannot retire. You should be retired. You should be home watching all the old reruns of Sanford and Son, all your old school vintage channels. You should be enjoying your life. You shouldn't still be raising your son or your daughters. Your grandchildren should be coming by to visit you, not live with you. There's a difference. You have any grown children, they shouldn't be living with you. It's just as simple as that. And I know it's going to be a lot of people that's going to get offended by this message, but the truth of the matter is, a lot of you have created your own monsters. And depending on how you raise your children, you can raise your children to become a burden, or you can raise your children to become a blessing. It depends on you what you raise them to be. Yeah, Met B, I've discussed that in one of my videos a while ago. You have a lot of these single mothers that are raising what's called son husbands. They're making their sons their husbands, especially when there's not another man in the household to regulate and to put this no good son in check and make him man up. If you have to all of you single moms out there, if you have a son and you're treating your son like your husband, meaning that you were taking care of him, you pampering him, you catering to him, you fixing his plate of food, you washing his drawers, you taking care of his kids more than his, do you not realize you are creating a monster? Just one moment. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I am back. As for all of you who do not know, I'll let you know now. I'm actually in process of applying to become a police officer. So because of that, it's been a very extensive process. When I say they check everything, they literally check every freaking thing you can think of. So that's what I am going through right now. So I apologize about that. I had an investigator call me just now. So I apologize for the inconvenience. I didn't know I was going to have someone call me in the middle of my show. So that is what's going on. So that was the reason why I had a pause in the show. I had an investigator that's going to be coming by. She's going to do a thorough interview with me. So, becoming a police officer is totally different than applying for a regular job because they definitely go in debt with your personal business. They want to actually interview me at my house. Okay. So they're going to be coming here and scoping me, scoping where I live, scoping how I live. So I tell you, if you ever get into law enforcement and it's something you're interested in doing, just be prepared because they are going to scan you from in and out. Anything you've ever done, if you stole gum out of your teacher's desk in third grade, they're going to find out about it. So, anyway, so that was what was going on. But anyway, we're going to go move right on into this topic that I'm talking about. So I just had a call from an investigator. I was totally caught off guard. I wasn't expecting that, but all is well. So anyway, we're going back into this topic about grandparents still raising grown children. Because as I stated, as a grandparent and as a parent, you are supposed to be a helpmate to your child, to your daughter, to your son. You're supposed to be a helpmate. As I stated before I lost my train of thought, I had a girlfriend who reached out to me. Her brother is basically living off of her grandparents. And the bad part is his mother is still living. And his mother, she's probably in her 50s as of right now. She's probably in her 50s. And she don't even want to be bothered with her overgrown son. She don't even want to be bothered with him. So she's allowing him to live off of her parents. And her parents are 90 years old. They every bit in their 90s. And I'm like, that is so selfish. Why would you allow your overgrown son, who you know is sorry, he's no help to you, so you're going to allow your son to live off of your parents, and your parents are over 90 years old. When you're 90 years old, you should be enjoying your life. You should not have a grown man or a grown woman living with you, burdening your life. What's up, Hershey Kiss? Thank you for coming on in, hon. What's good? Yeah, I'm talking about anybody who's just getting here. I'm talking about these overgrown children, these grown men, grown women over the age of 21 that's still living off a family, still living off their parents. And then, like I said, to add insult to injury, it's bad enough you over 21, you living with your parents. This young man, not only is he burdening his grandparents, he's 90 years old, his grandparents, they both in their 90s. He's stealing from them. He's stealing from them. He's taking things from them and make it so bad. The mother knows this and she would not do anything to stop the situation. And I think if you are a parent, to all my parents out there, let me tell you something right now. If you got a son or you got a daughter and you know they burdening your other kids or they burdening their parents, you are sorry as hell. And that's the bottom line. You're straight sorry. If you created your son or your daughter to be sorry, you should be the one left holding the bag. You shouldn't be allowing your parents to deal with it, your other children to deal with it. Nobody in your family should have to deal with your sorry, overgrown children who you did not raise, who you did not teach anything. I think that is one of the most pathetic, pitiful things a parent could do. You got a child that's over 21 years old, that's in their 30s, and they living off of other family members, and you are comfortable with it. And it's sad that I noticed that you have a lot of parents who got sorry children, who raise children to be a nuisance, who raise them to be nothing, and they don't want to be stuck with them. They will let their children become somebody else's problem. And I don't think that's cool. If you produced a child and you brought a child in this world and you did not teach that child how to be a grown man, you didn't teach that child how to be a grown woman, you did not teach that child how to handle their business, how to be independent, how to be self-sufficient, you need to be the one stuck holding the bag. And that's how I feel about it. But anyway, as I was stating, as a grandparent, you are supposed to be a helpmate for your children's children or grandchildren, not a resource. You'd be surprised how many parents that are up in their age, instead of being retired and enjoying life, they are still raising children over 20. And it's one thing if the child is 20 years old, and has a job, going to college, paying the bills. But they have the audacity to only not leave the nest or help contribute to the nest, but they are still bringing little birdies into the nest. It's bad enough y'all got y'all overgrown children, y'all got these childish adults living with y'all, and they'll steady bringing more children into the nest. They keep producing more children for you to have to take care of. Now, this is not to say that if a child is 20, 21, you throw that child out. Okay, you grown, you 21, get the hell out. That's not what I'm saying. As long as that child is doing something, like for instance, if my daughter decides to be 20, 21, and she's still living with me, I don't have a problem with her staying with me. My thing is, as long as she got a job and making her own money and paying her car note and handling her business, and she's not bringing a bunch of children in my household, I'm okay with her staying here as long as she needs to. I don't feel like any parent should rush their child to have to move out quicker than what they are if they are doing something. Long as she's working and handling her business, and she's not burdening me and her dad, I don't have a problem with her being here. But I'm talking to you parents who got these kids over 21 that got 2, 3 babies and don't have a job. And then some of y'all parents and some of y'all would even let y'all kids, boyfriend, girlfriend, baby daddy, baby mama move in too. Who does that? Um, a lot of mothers can't wait for their son to find a woman to live on. So yeah, Hershey, absolutely. But you know what the problem with that, Hershey, is if you as a woman, I don't care, I don't as a parent, I don't care how anxious you are for your son or your daughter to move out your house. If you have not taught them a darn thing, guess what? They're going to come back. They are like roaches. You would never get rid of them. Overgrown children are like roaches. They will always find a way to come back. And that's the bottom line. What's up, Trax Wanson? Thank you for stopping by. Matt B said over 25 is still at home. It's either the military or the booty house for him or her. Yeah. Like I said, I don't believe in rushing a child, especially if they helping you, they paying the bills, they taking out the trash, they a blessing to you and not a burden. That's a different story. But if you got a child that's over 21 every year, you got a daughter that's staying with you every year, she pregnant, she ain't got no job, or your son living there watching Netflix every doggone day and he over 30 years old. I mean, and he's not even putting a dime, not putting no groceries in the house. I mean, it's just ridiculous, the stuff that this generation of parents is allowing. Um, as I stated, it's bad enough they're not contributing, but then they have the audacity to bring more children into the equation. It's a lot of you grandparents out there, you are stuck and you can't live your life because you have created monsters. You have created monsters. And you single moms, you have created a lot of man child. You have a man child. If you got a son that's over 25 years old and he keeps producing children, and he keeps producing children, he's not working, he's not contributing. He's every day you wake up, he's on your sofa. He's in your refrigerator. In some cases, some of these single moms got their sons driving their car and burning the gas out. You can't be treating, note to you single moms out there. Note to you single moms, okay? You cannot stop making these sons your husbands. A lot of y'all have made y'all sons y'all husbands, meaning y'all fixing a plate of food, y'all washing their drawers, you know, you taking care of their babies like you had them, like you gave. A lot of you grandparents, y'all taking care of y'all grandkids like y'all gave birth to them. My thing is, how you go all these years waiting for your own children to become 18, 19, 20 to move out, and yet you right back where you started from, because now you raising the grandchildren. That's the sad part about it. Yeah. Exactly, Matt B. Exactly, Trax Winston. That's what I'm saying. But see, we come from the old school. Trax and Met V. We from the old school where our parents didn't allow that. These new school grandmamas, I don't know. They done messed up all the rules. They done changed all the rules, and they have created all of these monsters. They not only let their sorry sons, which are their husbands, stay with them, but they let the sons, baby mamas, they let them move in too. Because the truth of the matter is, some of these women, they want the benefits, that whatever little benefits they can get out of their sorry son or their sorry, daughter-in-law, which isn't much. They want the benefits of it. But I'm gonna go into that a little bit later. Um, Hershey says, I used to have a coworker that babied her son into adulthood. She kept his infant voice or voicemail message to, oh my goodness, are you freaking serious, Hershey kids? And the sad part is, I know you're serious, because some people have done it too often. You have too many women, because especially these single moms who don't have a husband, who don't have a man, they become so infatuated with their sons. They use their sons as substitutes. They take care of their sons, and they take care of their sons as if their sons are their husbands. And it's a very sad situation. Many of these children that are supposed to be full-grown, able-bodied adults, unless you have a disability or they have a mental dysfunction, should be on their own, especially if they have two or more kids. And some will even have the nerve to bring in another bum or adult to move. If you have a sorry son, 9 times out of 10, he's going to pick up a sorry woman. If you have a sorry daughter, 9 times out of 10, she's going to pick up a sorry man. If you have not taught your sorry son the quality of a good woman, he's going to impregnate thoughts. Okay? If you have not taught your daughter the qualities of the right man to pick up, she's going to pick up bums. She's going to pick up scrubs. And what's going to happen is, you're going to end up with a household full of grandchildren and grown children who are living off of you, and you barely making it with your retirement check or your SSI. It's a lot of grandparents. It's a lot of older folks up in their age. They cannot relax. They cannot live their life. They're miserable because they have their grown children and their grandchildren and living with them. And that is the monsters that you created. You'd be surprised how many full-grown women will move in another man-child on their parents, or grown men that will bring in another girl, woman that won't even cook or clean or do laundry. If your son is a bum, you raised your son to be a nobody. You raised your son to be a scrub. Basically, he's gonna pick up his own kind. He's going to pick up a female just as sorry as him. And what'll happen is, if he keeps producing babies, the guilt in you is not going to want your grandchildren to suffer. So not only is he living off of you, eventually he's going to move his grandchildren in, and eventually his sorry baby mama is going to be there too. So you're going to have two sorry adults on you that are using you and taking advantage of you. No problem, Trax Wanson. I know you got to go work and make that money, so I feel you. It's Monday. I hope to see you again next time. So you be safe, and thank you for dropping by. I appreciate you. Um, this is the monster that you create. It's unfortunate that it's a lot of parents who cannot enjoy their life, because They sorry son picked up another sorry woman, or they sorry daughter picked up another sorry dude. Okay. And for you women who got sons, you know what I mean? Basically, any parent out there who has a child, who has an overgrown child that's disrespectful, doesn't help you, doesn't contribute, you know what's going to happen? They're going to end up getting with a mate that's going to treat you the same way they treat you. In other words, if your son is already disrespectful, he's going to pick up another woman that's going to be disrespectful just like him. And you're going to have two burdens on your lap. If your daughter is already disrespectful, she's over 21 and she's talking to you any kind of way, she's treating you any kind of way, she's going to pick up another guy. Her baby daddy is going to be disrespectful towards you too. You're going to have two grown, childish people that are running your household and they're making you miserable. That is what is going to happen. I've seen it once, I've seen it 1,000 times. And you know what else? When you have two disrespectful parents, who else you think is going to be disrespectful? Your grandchildren. If your grandchild see their daddy could talk to you all kind of way, if your grandchild sees their mama could talk to you all kind of way, what you think your grandchildren going to do? Your grandchildren, they're going to be talking to you all kind of way. It's going to keep going. It's going to become a repeated cycle. It's a never ending story. I agree, Matt V. And the problem is, as much as wonderful as that sounds, the sad part is you cannot make them do nothing. The only power you have as a parent, you got to get them out your house. You got to throw them out on their head. That is the only way they're going to learn. Stop allowing them to stay there, eat your food, run your water, run your light bill up. You letting them live there and keep bringing in more children, bringing in more responsibilities, and you're not making them contribute. They're just going to add more to the equation. They're going to become a burden in your life. The thing is, unfortunately, once somebody is grown, you can't make them do anything, and that is even more the reason why they need to be out your house. Because the world already has these children thinking that once they're 18, they are grown. All of us know not all 18-year-olds got sense of an 18-year-old. Not all 18-year-olds are mature enough, you know what I mean, to think in that manner. So you know what you up against, and not all 18-year-olds are mature enough. But the problem is the world has already got these children thinking once you 18, you grown. And a lot of them are not grown like that. They may be grown as far as being smart at the mouth, or maybe grown as far as trying to be slick and trying to run game on you. But a lot of them are not grown in the sense as to where they need to be grown. If you're going to be grown and paying your own bills. Be grown and saving up money and stacking up so you can move out your parents' house. But that's the problem. You have a lot of grown, childish adults that are grown in the wrong area, and where they need to be grown at, they're not grown. It's bad enough that they're too old to be living with you in the first place, but they won't help or contribute. I do not understand these single mothers who got full grown men that are over 23, 24 years old, and they still living at home, and they will not pay the bills. They won't even offer to take the trash out. You will be surprised how many grown men still living off their mama, because the mama made her son a husband. She fixes his food. She washes his clothes, like I said earlier. And you have a lot of them like that, if you're not, if they're not contributing, they're gonna continue to use you. And you got some women. The only way women are halfway over to get over, they have that advantage of, if they got kids, they could apply for housing, they could apply for low income subsidizing housing. They could always apply for housing as long as they got children. But the bad part is for men don't have that advantage. So if a man doesn't already have a job, if he doesn't already have himself together, he's stuck unless he finds a woman who has her own place. And if she's desperate enough, which is the majority of women these days, he'll move in with her. But sooner or later, he's going to end up back on the mama. Because when she gets tired of him just scratching his balls, and not paying the bills and not helping out, he drinking up all the kids' Kool-Aid and Huggy juices and eating up all the Cheetos and Doritos, she gonna get tired of them eventually too. You know, so either way it go, these overgrown children end up back in your lap. You don't raise them, you don't teach them right, you don't show them how to be independent. They're gonna end up back in your lap. It's just as simple as that. It doesn't matter who take them in. One way or another, they're gonna end up back in your lap. Um, I would not be surprised because we in the world these days. We living in a time frame where people are pretty much doing anything. I don't put nothing past no one. I don't put and incest has been going on for years in a lot of families. You'll be surprised how many women are will get pregnant from their own sons. You know how many daughters will get pregnant from their own fathers. I mean, this is stuff that's very uncomfortable. People don't like to talk about it, but the truth of the matter is, it happens a lot. You have a lot of polygamy going on in the black communities. You have a lot of incest going on. Well, people are having children from people within their own bloodline. A lot of people don't want to talk about stuff like that, maybe, but it's the truth. Um, the next point I want to make, I blame you parents for allowing this. By you not teaching them how to be independent and not making them pay their way, you have created childish adults that are never going to grow up. I blame all of you parents out there. If you are over 50 years old and you have a child staying with you over 23, 24 years old that does not work and not contribute, and guess whose fault it is? It's your fault. It is your fault. And if you are suffering, you have no one to blame but yourself. You created that monster. You allowed that what you created is what you stuck with. Whatever you create is what you're going to be dealt with. So anybody out there who has a child in your care right now, they over 21 and they having kids. Let me tell you something. You better start giving them a time frame. If you see they not making any goals and you see they're not making any effort to try to get from up under you, you better get them up out your house. You better come up with a plan. You better tell them today, look, by next year, you got to have your own place. If you don't put your foot down, it's going to continue to be a problem. Before you know it, if you don't say anything, 2 years done went by. 4 years done went by. 10 years done went by. And your grown children are still staying with you. And then not only are they staying with you, you getting more grandchildren added to the collection. You getting way more grandchildren. So if you got overgrown children that are living with you, because I know everybody got that one aunt or that one uncle who's complaining, my son won't work, my daughter won't work, he ain't helping me, he won't get no job. Then guess what? You need to tell them that's your fault. You created that monster. Don't be sitting up there sitting listening to their soft stories and sympathizing with them. Oh, that's wrong, and they don't need to be staying there. Guess what? It's not going to change until you change it. It's going to continue to be exactly what it is until you make them grow up and you give them a time frame. Okay? Sometimes as kids, when you see your children not being motivated, you got to push them. You got to light a fire in the crack of their butt to get them moving. Because if you sit back and you fall back and you slack, they're going to keep slacking. And before you know it, like I said, you'll be 30, 40 years old and instead of having the privilege to walk around your house naked, you and your old man or you and your old lady, you have a house full of grandchildren and a house full of grown children. So that was the other point I wanted to make. The next point is I wanted to make, we all fall on hard times, okay? Things are going to happen. It comes a point where your grown children may end up having to come home. If they get burnt out of their apartment, that's something they didn't have any control over. God forbid if one of your husband, your daughter loses her husband, your son loses a wife, the wife dies or goes to jail, something happens. Things in life happen where sometimes you got to go back to family till you get on your feet. But that's a different story. I'm not talking about when things happen. I'm talking about these grown men and women who intentionally are not trying to get up out your house. Exactly, Matt B. I agree 100% with that. Like I said, we all fall on hard times, but when you have childish adults that are living with you just to be living with you with no goals or time frame, you are enabling them to be a burden to society. That's basically what you're doing. You're creating your children to become a burden to the world. Because that's what's going on right now with this young man. By him not working because he got a mother, his own mom. His mom is 50, like 53, 4 years old. She doesn't want to be bothered with her son because she knows her son is a zero. She knows her son is a bum. So basically, she allowing her son to live off of her 90-year-old parents. And I think that's one of the most selfish things you can do. What's up, Ace Too Much? Thank you for stopping by. I understand following hard time living. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, Ace is going on a lot. Like I said, everybody in this chat room, whether y'all want to admit it or not, y'all all got that one brother, that one cousin, that one niece, that one female cousin. Everybody in this chat room know that one person that keeps living off of their folks and has no ambition. They try to better themselves. They try to do better. And you know what the crazy part is, y'all? Their parents will have the audacity to want to defend them. I've seen these parents with these bum sons and these pathetic daughters that are over 23 living with them. They will defend them. They will defend their sorry grown children and say, well, he's just trying to get himself together. What you mean? He's been living with you almost 5-6 years. I remember there was this one relative we had, I won't say any names, but her son, is, like I said, a straight bum, just won't work, been in and out of jail. When them kind, everybody got a June bug in their family. Everybody got a June bug. June bug don't want to work. June bug like to make babies. June bug in and out of jail. June bug is just a straight bum. Everybody got a June bug in their family, okay? So I'm gonna just call them June bug. And we call ourselves having a little family reunion and stuff like that so all of us could get together. And his mother, his mother had the audacity to say, yeah, I'm gonna let Junebug know that we're having a family reunion because he sure could use a break. And in the back of our minds, we thought it was funny because we're like, a break from what? A break from what? I mean, what? A break from doing nothing? This man don't work. He don't contribute. What are you talking about? And you have some parents out there, they are hell bent. They're going to defend their sorry sons. They're going to defend their sorry daughters till the end. They're going to defend them no matter what and will get offended as soon as somebody says something about their sorry son or their sorry daughter. Matt B says, I have an uncle that's 54 and never lived anywhere besides his mama's house. But he did spend all the booty house. Oh my! I told you, everybody in this chat room got a June bug. Everybody got a June bug. I have a couple of June bugs in my family. Will work. I mean, won't work. Will produce more babies. In and out of jail. Everybody got one. And like I said, but the bad part is their parents are going to defend them no matter what. When I say that, when I said, as I stated before, when you have childish adults that are living with you just to be living with you with no goals and no plans, you are enabling them to be society's burden. And what I mean by society's burden means these childish adults will keep procreating and breeding children like roaches because they know they will always have to have a place to stay and out of guilt as a grandparent. These grandparents won't are not going to get rid of their grown children because they don't want their grandbabies in the street. You have a lot of grandparents who can't stand their children, but because of their grandchildren, they don't want their grandkids to be in the streets and suffering. That's the thing about it. But the bottom line is your grandchildren are still going to suffer because they got parents that don't have no real goals, don't have any real plans. So you still not, even as a grandparent, even if you're taking your grandchildren in, if they're not, if your children are not doing nothing to better themselves, it's pointless, really. It's pointless. Again, I notice single mothers will allow their grown children to take advantage of them out of guilt. Now, I'm not saying this is the case with all single mothers, but what I notice is I notice a lot of single mothers are letting their children get away with murder. especially their sons. And a lot of this comes from guilt. You have a lot of women who know they didn't, who feel they didn't make the best choice as far as who they chose to bear children with. So what they do is they allow their children to just disrespect and get away with murder because it's the guilt of knowing that they did not provide their child with a father. So it's a lot of single moms out here. You can't be using, you can't allow, your children not having a father in their life as an excuse to tolerate all of what you tolerate from them. You know, it happens. If the father decided not to be there in their life, that don't mean you should keep enabling your children out of guilt for that reason. But I know it's a lot of single mothers that will take all kind of stuff off because of guilt. They're guilty that they never had a good man. They didn't choose a good man to father their child, so it's out of guilt. Um, Again, as I stated before, you got too many parents that keep defending their man child or their girl or woman. You have a lot of parents out there. You can't feel sorry for them. The moment somebody comes to you and say, "Man, my daughter is disrespectful. My son is disrespectful, and they talk to me all kind of way. They treat me all kind of way." You can't always feel sorry for folks because they'll be the main ones to defend their children. The moment you tell them something, you can always tell when somebody is trying to make excuses for their children. If somebody come to you saying what their son and their daughter did, and you give them advice and they come up with an excuse, like you might say, well, for instance, if you have a person coming to you and say, well, my son, he won't get no job, he's not helping me pay the bills, and you say, well, what you need to do is you need to make him get a job. Let him know if he don't get a job within a month, then you have to put him out. If she comes back and says, well, well, yeah, I told him that, but he keeps saying he looking and he gonna try. If she keeps coming back with excuses, then she don't really want her son or her daughter to better themselves. That's why I said some people you can't feel sorry for them just because some people come to you pouring down, crying, talking about what somebody did to them, talking about what somebody taking them through. You cannot feel sorry for them. You can't. Because a lot of these people, they will defend the same people they crying about. I'm telling you, I done seen it happen too many times. Um, Stop allowing your grown children to take advantage of other family members. Now, this is where I get kind of pissed off at. If your son or your daughter, you can't do nothing with your grown son, you can't do nothing with your grown daughter. They disrespectful. They ignorant. They selfish. How dare you allow your other family members to have to put up with it? If anything, what you should be doing is telling your other family members, if I'm not taking him in, I'm not taking her in, you don't take her in either. Don't take him in either. It's a lot of parents out there who will intentionally allow their troubled children to take advantage of their family. And I don't think that's cool. If you brought a child in this world and you produced that child and you made that child become a monster and you made that child become sorry and less of a man, less of a woman, you should not by no means be comfortable with your child, your overgrown child, living off your family. It's not cool that you have a child who you refuse to raise to live off your parents, who you refuse to raise to live off your other children. That is not cool, and it's a lot of you parents that are doing that. You know your daughter's sorry, you know your son's sorry, and you know it's affecting other people in your family, and you would not be man or woman enough to put your foot down and tell your son and tell your daughter, stop calling granddaddy, stop calling grandmama, stop calling your sister, stop calling your brother. You will let your grown children pimp everybody because that's your way of not having to deal with them. And I don't think that's cool. Again, there's too many persons under that one roof, and if it's about a man, exactly, it's too much. When you have too many people under one roof, it's bound to be a disaster. It's bound to be a disaster, especially when you got everybody under one roof and nobody is ambitious, nobody has goals. And what happens is when you have a grown son or you got a grown daughter that are living with you, eventually they're going to give you hell. And you know why they're going to give you hell? Because they're not happy with their life. They're not happy with where they need to be. They don't have a good job. They're not making no good money. And when you have an overgrown child that's staying with you and they don't have nothing going for them, they're going to become miserable. And what's going to happen is they're going to take all their misery out on you. I mean, it happens all the time. And it's sad that a lot of people are not understanding that. Um, The next point is you can aid children that have always disrespected you and now they are adults. Basically, if you have always taken care of your children and you allowed them to disrespect you at a young age, if your son and your daughter has always pretty much disrespected you, bulldozed you, handled you, ran over you when they was 12, 13 years old, and you allow them to stay with you as adults, you are going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck with a disrespectful child. A disrespectful child becomes a disrespectful adult. It's as simple as that. That's the whole bottom line. That's the next point I want to make. If your grown children disrespect you, your grandchildren eventually will, because they are following examples of those that are raising them. A lot of people don't want to believe this, but if you are allowing your children to disrespect you, your grandchildren are going to be disrespecting you. If your grandkids see their grown mama and a grown daddy disrespect you as their parent, you're making your grandchild believe that it is acceptable. Some of y'all are putting yourselves in positions to where it's bad enough your children are disrespecting you. Your grown children are coming right behind them, and they're going to do. Your grandkids are going to do the same exact thing. It's going to be the same exact thing. And you're going to end up being a great grandparent that's now you stuck with disrespectful grandchildren. It's going to keep going because you didn't nip it in the bud when the issue first became a problem with the parents. So it's bad enough the parents disrespectful to you. Now you got your grandparents, which are the children of the parents, they're disrespecting you too. Do y'all not see how far out of hand this can get when you allow overgrown children to live off of you? Do you not see how it spreads like cancer? Because it really does. Um, Keep in mind, some parents don't want their children to move out of fear of being lonely, or they need to utilize the benefits. I believe this is the case. Believe it or not, you have a lot of grown men and grown women. They don't mind if their kids live with them forever, because you got some women, especially if she's a single mother and she's never been married, she's up in her age, she's too old in her age to go out there and get a man, or the father too old in his age to go out there and get a woman. You got some women and you got some men, they're so lonely they actually embrace the thought of their grown children still living off of them. My thing is, may the force be with them, because I don't know about y'all, but when I get a certain age in life, I want to kick back and chill. I want to be able to chill, go on vacations with just me and my husband. I want to live my life. And, I don't want to come home to a house full of grandchildren, because again, that stuff is contagious. Your grandchildren will continue, they'll have kids too. Let's say you have a house full of grandchildren, great grand living off of you. It spreads like cancer. That is what I'm trying to make everybody understand. When you allow one thing to happen, it implodes. It's like a ball rolling down the hill. It gets bigger and bigger. You have to understand that. I basically broke down all of the elements to you as to, what are the causes and what are the factors of these overgrown children that are still living with their parents. So now I'm going to, present to all of you the solutions. If you are in this situation right now, or if you know somebody in this situation right now, this is some steps they can possibly take. The first thing is set a time frame. Okay. Today may be the day you're going to have to sit down with your grown daughter, your grown son, and tell them starting today, we're going to have to pick a move out date. Bottom line, if you don't have a plan and you just go with the flow every day, all day, you just let things be the way that they are, it's not going to change. You're going to have to be the bigger person, and you're going to have to, if you see your son and you see your daughter, they're not motivated to getting to the next level. They're not motivated. They don't seem driven. You may have to turn it up. You may have to turn up the heat. Little plastic container, metal, little white. If you don't, if you do not put your foot down and you don't set a plan, it's going to keep going. It is not going to end. It's not going to end. If you don't change it, it's never going to change. It's as simple as that. You need to sit down with them Give them a date. What? How many months we got left in this year? We in what? June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 7 months. Let them know within 7 months you're gonna have to come up with a plan. You got to be out of my house before 2019. Okay? And no matter what happens, you stick to your plan. If by next year they're still there, then guess what? You're going to have to put them out. It's as simple as that. Because you have to realize you created a monster. So for parents who have allowed their children to get away with murder, realize that your children are not going to believe that you're serious right away. They're not going to believe it right away. They're going to play mind games. They're going to stall. They're going to procrastinate. So just keep in mind, that your children, now that you want to put your foot down, that don't mean they're going to take you serious right off the jump. So keep in mind that once you created a monster, sometimes it takes a while to reprogram that monster. But whatever you do, you stick to your guns. I don't care. They're gonna come up with more excuses than a prostitute in jail. They're gonna come up with all kind of excuses. Well, I applied for housing. I did this. I did that. I did this. I did that. It don't matter. Let them know they got a time frame, and regardless of what happens, if they don't stick to it, they're gonna have to go to a homeless shelter or whatever the case is. Pick a time frame and stick with it. Give that grown kid a yes, Matt B. Exactly. And that's a good point you brought up. And change the locks on your doors. Be prepared to change the lock on your door before your due date so they know you're not playing. They come home one day and see all their boxes sitting out on the curb, and you change the lock. They'll know mom and daddy mean business. And I'm not going to say it's not going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you to your soul, especially if you're so used to taking care of your child and doing for your child. It's going to hurt you, but you have to realize that's not a child anymore. That's a grown man. That's a grown woman. And it's going to hurt, especially if you got grandchildren, because you're not going to see, you a real grandparent, you're not going to see your grandbabies in the street. You're not going to see your grandbabies suffering. Another point I want to state too is sometimes, which you go to my third point, take in the grandchildren. If you're so worried about your grandkids suffering at the hand of your irresponsible children, take in the grandchildren. But keep in mind, that's still very risky, because sometimes when you take care of people's kids, instead of them taking that time to better themselves, to get a better job, to save up money, some of them just get sorrier. Some people, no matter how much you help them, no matter how much you pick up the slack for them, some people are just going to be pathetic. So you got to be honest to know what type of child you deal with. Every parent, if you're a real parent, you know your child. Every parent got that one child they can help, and every parent got that one child they can't help. Okay, so you know what you up against. You know what you done raised. Next thing you can do is make plans to move into a smaller place. I know a woman who did it. She had a 3-4 bedroom house, and what happened was her kids kept coming back like roaches. She get rid of one, the other one come. She get rid of one, the other one come. They kept exchanging. So what she did was her and her husband got smart and got a 1-bedroom house. There's no room. There's no extra rooms. If you're in a place and you have extra rooms, just understand that's giving your children an indication that they can always come back. So you may have to sacrifice and move out and get you a smaller place. Okay. So that's another thing. The last thing is the last solution is set limits and rules. You can't have no more children, or you must have a job before opening your door. If times are hard and they really got to come stay with you, you better lay down the ground rules from the beginning. Let them know what you will and will not tolerate. All right. Okay. The moment they renege on any guidelines that you have placed and that you have established from the jump, then you know it is time to get rid of them. They got to go. Bottom line. Okay, if they disrespecting you, if your grandchildren are disrespecting you, if they baby mama, they baby daddy disrespecting you, to hell with everyone. Get rid of everybody. You owe nobody nothing. You done raised everybody. You waited for the moment for everybody to get grown so you could finally have your life, live your life. Let me tell all of you something. You got to preserve your peace, because people don't have a problem with making your life miserable. As long as you sit there and you keep, people are going to keep doing what you allow them to do. As long as you sit there and hope don't always work. Hope they get it together. Hope they learn their lesson. Hope they don't do nothing else stupid. Hope, you know, they make better decisions. Hope don't mean nothing if they're not actually putting it into action. You can hope all you want. But until that day comes when you actually see that grown son or that grown daughter of yours making different moves, you are going to constantly be smothered with your children's responsibilities. You did not come this far to raise all of your children to still be stuck raising them. Mom, dad, sister, brother, if you got a relative that is living off of you right now, and you know it's burdening you, it's stressing you out, it's wearing you out, it's going to continue to manifest until you do something different. Exactly, Matt B. You have to let Jody go, okay? Or call Melvin. Yeah, because mama got to have a life too, Matt V. Mama got to have a life. I'm telling you, you cannot allow these kids to make you feel guilty. They will make you feel guilty. Well, why you want to put me in the street with your grandchildren? You should have thought about that before you laid down having all my grandchildren. The only thing I would do, I would stop by the homeless shelter and drop my grandchildren off some cookies and some lunch meat or something. But as painful as it is, you have to let family go because you're the one that's getting mentally and spiritually drained. Okay? And unfortunately, we live in a world full of selfish people that don't have a problem burdening your life. People will continue to burden your life if you lay there and you take it all because of love, and love is dangerous. Love will have you tolerating all type of bull because you love your daughter, you love your son, you love all that love is gonna have you miserable. Okay, and it's a lot of y'all could have been blessed long time ago, but because you have allowed your sorry sons and your sorry daughters that's over 21 with a bunch of kids live with y'all, you missed out on good mates. You could have been married by now. You could have had a better things going for yourself. A lot of y'all can't get nothing because you have your sorry children blocking your blessings. A lot of y'all could have been free. You could have had way more than what you got. You could have had more. And my thing is, you can't put price on a peace of mind. I don't care if they is putting food in your house. I don't care if they is giving you a little bit of change here and there. But if it's causing you to be disrespected and it's causing you to lose sleep at night to where you can't function and your nerves is wrecked up, you don't lost all your edges behind being so damn stressful, it is time to change the situation. It's not going to change unless you change it. You are going to wake up to the same bull crap day in and day out. If you don't change it, it is going to continue to be the same. And do not expect people to know that they're taking you through so much. Don't think people are going to wake up and smell a coffee and say, you know what? I need to move out because I'm stressing mama, I'm stressing dad, I'm stressing grandma. Don't look for people to have an epiphany to know when they're doing too much. If you're waiting for them to wake up and smell the coffee, then you're going to be disappointed and you're going to be stuck. Ace Too Much says, great point, Lady Mocha, and it can be one of the most stressful times among everyone. But as I said earlier, you got to be about your purpose. Absolutely. Because people don't have a problem suffocating your life. You know what? I don't know about y'all out there, but I have no problem saying no. I will say no in a heartbeat. I don't care who feelings get hurt. I don't care who gonna feel some type of way. Mocha is going to preserve her peace by any means necessary. I refuse to be stressed out. And I don't care who likes it or who doesn't. Because at the end of the day, I got to take care of me. I got to take care of me. And I advise all of y'all out there that's listening, take care of you. Mama, daddy, you done did your job. You done raised everybody. Let go of the grown folks. If you a sister and you a brother, you got your brother staying with you, your sister staying with you. Let me tell you something. You have to live your own life. Because you know what the sad part is? The day you die and leave this world, people are not going to put in your obituary, she took me in her house, or he took me in her house. That's not going to go on your obituary. I hope you know that. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no more, not today. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. You only have one life to live. You only got one. Militia, Morel, you only got one life to live, hon. If you don't change it, it's going to be exactly the way it is. You're going to come home every day. What you see right now, that's what it's going to always be. And it's going to continue to be that. Just what you see, it is what it is. Don't expect anybody to have mercy on you. Don't expect for anybody to take it easy, to give you a break. People ain't going to give you a break, but they'll break you. They'll break you. People not going to give you peace, but they'll break you to pieces. They'll do that. So, and until it is nothing wrong with that. And again, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt you to your soul because you done got used to doing so much. And it's sad, but you can get so used to doing so much for people, you'll feel guilty not wanting to do for them no more. That's the sad part. People could make you feel bad about not wanting to do for them no more. I mean, it's sad. It's not going to change until you change it. It's going to be the same thing day in and day out. And like I said, you missing out on your blessing. I don't know about y'all, but I love my peace of mind. I love to come home to my peace of mind. The older I get, the more I love enjoying being by myself. I enjoy my own company. I'm not one. I don't like a house full of people. I don't like a house full of children running all over the place. You know, swinging on the chandelier like monkeys. I'm not used to all that chaos in my household. I'm going to protect my peace. I'm going to enjoy my life, whatever little, however much God will allow for me to have of it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to let nobody wear me out and stress me out. You can't help folks who don't want to help themselves. Exactly, Hershey Kiss. I love my quietness. I don't know about y'all. What's up, Jerome Broom? Good to see you. I don't know about y'all, but I love my peace of mind. Come on. All right, see. I love my peace of mind. The bathroom straight. Okay. I love my peace of mind. um, I love my peace of mind. I love my sanity. I'm not going to let nobody rob me of that. You could take my house. You could take my cars. You could take my jewelry. You could take, anything, all my material things. But what I don't want taken is my peace of mind. Because once you lose your mind, what good is your new car? What good is your new house? What good is any of the materialistic things when you don't have a peace of mind? What good is it to you? What good is it? You know what I'm saying? You traveling on your way to New Orleans? Okay. Well, you definitely be safe now. Be safe on that road now. Because there's always some crazy stuff going on. Yeah. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get ready to wrap it on up. But I definitely, in conclusion, parents, grandparents, stop raising your grown children. Stop helping your grown children raise their children. Okay, you don't raised everybody, you don't took care of everybody. And for all you parents out there that's comfortable with living off of other people and you grown and you got children, shame on you, because at the end of the day, you ain't hurt nobody but yourself. Because the same people you depending on, God forbid, something happens to the people that you using and that you depending on, something happens to them. If you have no survival skills and you have no independency, then guess what? You're going to be stuck. You stuck. Something happens to people. You hurting your own self in the long run because you have not built a foundation for yourself. You have not built a foundation for your kids, and realize that what goes around comes around. Since you a burden on your parents, realize your children are going to become a burden on you. Karma has everybody's address. So be careful with what you do to folks and what you take other people through, because the same thing could very well happen to you, all right? So it's been wonderful, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to log off. I have an investigator coming over here soon, as I stated. I'm getting interviewed for my position with law enforcement, so they're checking everything. So I got to get ready to wrap everything up. So wish me the best of luck, y'all. Hopefully this goes well for me. Again, I want to thank all of y'all for y'all support. I want to thank all of y'all for y'all love, y'all positive energy. For everybody who is just now logging in, I'm sorry, but the pastor is getting ready to leave the building. So you have missed today's sermon. Okay, but don't worry, I'm going to leave it up. So whatever you missed, you'll be able to catch it or whatever. And I'll be going again live. I'll probably go again live Wednesday. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. That way you will catch my next live. Okay. Make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. I appreciate all of y'all for y'all love, y'all support, y'all positive energy. Thank you for your donations, just for your time, just for your energy. I appreciate each and every one of you. Even if I don't email y'all all the time, even if I don't respond to y'all all the time, I have a lot going on. But just know I appreciate all of you. I don't know you personally from Adam, but I treat all of my subscribers like my friends, and I treat all of my subscribers like family. So realize that I appreciate all of what y'all do for me, and all of y'all love and y'all support. So I'm going to get ready to wrap things up because I got this interview coming up, and I will let y'all know how it goes. Okay, so y'all have a wonderful day, and y'all take care. And this is your girl, Lady Mocha, signing off. Remember, I'm going to always break you off a slice of truth, and I'm going to always pour you a cup of knowledge. Y'all be blessed. Take care, and don't forget, preserve your peace. I'm out.